Welcome back, everybody, to Plaid Couch Reads Reddit Stories. Today, we're going back to RPG horror stories because you can never have too many of those.
Yay!
The title of this one: Player doesn't talk to other PCs, complains session is boring. So I decided to invite my brother-in-law to join my tabletop RPG group with some college friends I've been running for just over a year now. We're polite with each other, but not super close since he and my sister didn't start dating until after I moved out of the family home and out of state. I do this tabletop RPG thing to stay connected with my college buddies since we're all over the country these days and we're gearing up for a new campaign. I thought it'd be cool to invite him along. Since all my friends were new to tabletop RPGs, I started with some simpler systems like Powered by the Apocalypse and Kids on Bikes just to help them get comfortable with the basics. For this new campaign, they wanted to try Dungeons & Dragons for real. So we're going for it. I planned a couple of one-shots to introduce the mechanics since it's way more complex than what we were doing before, and I invited my brother-in-law to join these to get comfortable too. As far as I knew, he hadn't played tabletop RPGs before, but he's really into MMO video games and stuff, so I thought it'd be an easy transition for him. He shows up to the one-shot with a character sheet already made from another campaign. It's a level 6 character, and he wants to use it for this session. For the first one-shot, I intended to start everyone at level 1 to ease them into the mechanics, and then for the second one-shot, I was planning to have them level up their characters to level 3 to help them learn that process. So I told him he could keep the same race, class, and backstory, but we'd need to drop him to level 1. This wouldn't take long, especially since we were playing on Roll20 with the character Mancer, and he was just a human fighter, so it won't be hard to make. The only thing I mentioned for all the characters was that they'd all be part of a monster hunting guild. He gets that sorted, and we kick off the one-shot. I give each character a little cutscene to introduce their character as they arrive in a town dealing with some missing children. Classic. My brother-in-law's character comes in last, and he just storms past everyone into the tavern, gets an ale, and doesn't talk to anyone. The rest of the players start investigating around town and interviewing folks to find out what's going on, while my brother-in-law just hangs out in the tavern. I keep asking him if he wants to meet up with the other players or question some patrons in the bar and figure things out, but he says no. After about 30 to 40 minutes, the others finally make their way to the tavern with a suspect in hand. So my brother-in-law's character gets up, takes his mug, and chucks it at the suspect, tells me he wants to skewer the suspect above the fireplace. Some patrons try to break up the chaos, and that leads to full-on combat with everyone. After the party's main suspect gets killed and skewered, the players have to head out for more clues, while my brother-in-law's character goes back to the bar to pour himself more ale. Then around 2 hours into the session, he suddenly says he has to go and logs off Discord in a hurry. The next day I text him to see if he's okay, and he doesn't respond, so I text my sister, and she tells me he's okay, but that he was complaining to her about being really bored the whole time and thought the session was way too long, saying RPGs shouldn't drag on like that. We'd only been playing for 2 hours when he left. After that, he ghosted the level 3 one-shot and even skipped out on session 0 for the new full campaign. I reached out to him and he said he didn't need my help to make a character, that he'd just do it on his own. I told him I totally believed he could make a character, but I still wanted to chat because I wanted to work his character into the world I'm building and create some plot threads for him in the campaign, but I never heard back. I don't want to stir up family drama, but I'm getting the not-so-subtle vibe he's not into it, but he doesn't want to tell me, hence not responding to my text. But there's also the possibility he's a doofus guy who's bad at texting, so I don't know. I had planned on talking to him during session 0 and asking him to avoid the lone wolf trope and stuff like that, but he never showed up. My players are super nice, maybe to a fault, and they're hoping that the more we play with him, the more he'll want to roleplay and get into the story. The The plan is to start the new campaign this weekend, and I'm not expecting him to show up, so we'll see.
This guy would not like playing D&D with us if he thinks that RPGs shouldn't drag on.
Yeah.
How many years have we been in this campaign that we're on?
Let's see. I was in college still.
Let's see, I've moved 4 times since then.
and when we do get to play, 2 hours, that's just like the warm-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Holy cow. I don't think that the campaign was boring. I think this guy's boring for not wanting to get into character. That's part of the fun of D&D.
I can especially understand for new people getting into D&D. It does take that first session or two for you to get used to.
It's a little awkward at first. Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I don't want to get too far into this and be a huge nerd.
Yeah.
But after like session 2, you're like, oh, I'm getting this character down completely. And since I'm the DM in our campaign, trying to work your guys' characters into it, I can understand sitting down and talking it out to make sure the character fits within the campaign, as he was talking at the end when they were getting ready to start the new one. When we started this one, I kind of gave you guys free reign to make your characters, and then I was going to build off that. When Matthew made his new character, he and I sat down together. I was like, what do you want to be? And then we kind of worked on his backstory and everything, so it still fit in the world and didn't feel like a completely new character just being inserted in, but making him feel like he's been there the whole time.
Right.
Yeah. I was busy with my nose in the books until a group came and picked me up.
Just waiting for the right group of travelers to come get him. Also, like, ghosting the party. Like, if you don't want to do it, you need to be honest with them. We don't have any experience with that, right, fellas?
Nope.
It's tough, especially when we would have days where I would lug all the stuff to your place and get it all set up, and then it's like, oh, not everyone's here.
I guess we're not doing D&D. Yeah, just be honest.
Yeah, if you got something going on.
Yeah, I mean, because you would probably, I'm assuming this guy would want to rewrite part of the campaign if, like, this guy's just not going to be a part of it anymore. I've never been a DM, but I would assume that that's a big part of it.
Yeah. Some stuff, it's you either like completely replace it or you simplify it to make it easier, because it's you two and Burguy in our campaign right now, so it's 3 or 4 people makes a big difference, especially when it comes to combat stuff.
Right.
So that's something I always have to be mindful of.
Also, like, it sounds like, and maybe I'm interpreting this wrong, but it's like he didn't want to go out and, like, search for clues. He didn't want to talk to the patrons, but then got pissy after they lost that combat fight. And it's like, so what do you want to do when you play D&D?
Yeah, just pretend you're drinking the whole time.
Just drink in real life. It's more fun.
Yeah.
Trying to pretend to be the cool lone wolf character.
Yeah, that gets old fast.
It does.
And there's a way to play that character and still be involved with the campaign.
Yes. I'm glad no one in our parties ever... There have been times where people kind of go and do their own thing, but it's never been, oh, I'm over here sitting in the corner being cool, drinking.
No, that wouldn't be fun at all.
Yeah.
It's usually just, oh, these two went off to go do something. I'm gonna stay behind with the NPC party.
And there are times when it's like other people in your group are doing something and you're kind of just sitting there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still entertaining for us because, you know, usually Matthew's character gets into some sort of shenanigans.
Yeah.
So that's
not even
always fun to pay
shenanigans
attention
ensue.
Sometimes it's not even on purpose. I just get unlucky a lot.
But I mean, I don't know. That's part of it. And if you're with the right group of people, though, it's like it's still entertaining.
Exactly, and we've talked about this in the last one. I'm so happy with our group dynamic, but we've known each other.
I can see where it gets a little awkward when it's someone you don't know, but you have to allow yourself to do that. And I would think that being in Discord would make it easier because when you're face to face with people, it tends to be a little bit more awkward. But it's like if you just sort of have like connected via a screen and like Discord, I feel like that would be easier to really get a little goofy with it.
No, if
Not-
you're face-to-face people, you just say, listen, I'm gonna get into character, and you guys are
Yeah,
either
but
gonna
some
hate
people
it
can't do
or
that
like
Yeah.
it.
right away. A lot of people like, and I'm not trying to generalize here, and we love D&D. I'm not like coming for anybody, but I would imagine that a lot of people who experience social anxiety kind of go hand in hand with people who play D&D. Like
Yeah.
that, I feel like there's a lot of crossover there. So I feel like when you're playing with a group of people that you really don't know, it could be kind of awkward. But it's not like they were just going off and they're doing their own thing. It sounded like he was trying to include him, and
Yeah.
he could have went off with one of the groups and kind of just like hung out. He
Yeah.
didn't have to like sit in the pub and drink his ale.
He could have brought his ale with him.
Yeah, get a to-go cup.
Nah, I'm pretty sure in that world they have the same laws.
Do you
the
think?
US
I don't
open
think they
carry.
have. I don't think they have open container laws. in
I think
D&D.
that's part of the DM's decision.
I was. We never asked. Do we have open container in our campaign?
You've never gone outside with an open container to find out.
That's right, we have it.
No to that. We're gonna figure that out next session.
Next episode, Myra gets arrested
Yeah.
for an open container.
Well, Myra, to shed light on our campaign a little bit, my D&D character is a drunk pirate. She is always drinking. And I always have that jug of ale.
Yeah.
I have an alchemy jug that I could actually use, like, for, like, helpful things, like potions and poison and stuff. And I always just use my free turn to fill it with ale.
Yeah.
But that's, I'm assuming, has a little
And
cork on it.
mayonnaise. She filled it with
I think
mayonnaise
it was
once.
mayonnaise
too.
one time, yeah.
For whatever reason, she could have made healing potion, but mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise is nature's healing potion.
Dude, yeah. We're from the Midwest. Mayonnaise has got superpowers.
All D&D parties just take time to get to know each
Mhm.
player and their quirks. So
I-
quitting after one session is kind of tough.
Yeah. Also, like, I hate when people like don't have fun with it.
Yeah.
Like some people take it too seriously.
Mhm.
Like even their roles and stuff. It's like we have our roles that we play,
Yeah.
but it's like sometimes you just gotta loosen up and like kind of go with the flow and have fun with it.
Unless you're rolling ones for like half of the fucking battle.
Yeah, that gets a little frustrating.
And the DM's job is to try to continue to make it fun for you guys. Like, I want each of you to shine in your own ways, and you all have your own personal stories going through.
Mhm.
Right now, it's a bit more Myra focused because
We're in that.
you're in
Yeah.
that part of the
In the
world
campaign,
now. But you know, it could very well switch to Burguy's character
Yeah.
or Matthew's character.
Hey, I'm the navigator with Myra, so I'm almost in the same vein as Myra right now.
Even though right now Myra is, I'm gonna put quotes around main character for
Yeah.
the story being told, it's still important to get you and Burguy involved
Well, that's like,
in it.
and not to tangent too much on our own personal party, you can cut this if you want, but like Burguy's character when he was discovering the Raven Queen,
Yeah,
I didn't really have much to do with that storyline.
Yeah.
But it's like I still had things I could do,
yeah,
and it's like it was never boring. If it was boring, I wouldn't keep showing up to D&D night.
Huh?
yeah.
But I don't know, it's just one of those things where,
You have your moments,
yeah,
but you're not the only character.
right. And I don't know, like, what do you do if you're not talking to NPCs?
Yeah.
Like,
Just sitting there, just
it's like I'm just waiting for the combat.
And then
Boring.
get mad at the combat.
Yeah, it's like, fuck this. But yeah, definitely the worst thing about this is him ghosting the party.
Yeah.
I think the party just needs to be like, you know what, we're gonna write him out, and if he shows up, then we'll just have
Yeah.
to tell him, like, hey, we weren't sure you're gonna make it. Like,
Yep.
this is on you, not us. So, because then you're letting a bunch of other people down.
Exactly.
So, and again, it's just for fun.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just a game.
yeah, really, it's,
I know a lot of people take D&D seriously, but it's just a game.
yeah.
Matthew.
I say Matthew's like,
Matthew
"Fuck,
always texts me afterwards. He's like, I can't believe you would do that
that's
to me.
such
oh
bullshit.
yeah, I always
My dice are weighted. It's awful.
I write down all the shit that went wrong and I blame it on Tegan.
I know you're not writing shit down because every time we do a campaign, it's like, well, Jaylene's taking the notes.
Yeah. Listen, I've got my character has perfect memory, so he can just recall anything. I don't need to write it down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's not true, though. I do have stuff written down. I've got a whole notebook full of stuff.
Yeah.
And on that note, I want to thank everyone for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I'm gonna